Where's this music coming from? Oh, it's coming from watching the replay of stream. Okay. Are we good? Yay, we're good. Merry Crumble.
Merry Crumble.
Mayor
Merry
Crumble.
Crispy.
Yeah. We stream timing today. We doing Christmas stuff because it's Christmas time.
Aw, yeah.
Is anyone in chat right now? It does not look like it.
It'll take it a minute to...
Yeah, there's Maze. Hi, Maze. Mayor Crumble.
Looks like we have 28 in chat at the moment.
Oh, shit, that filled up quick.
Mental Gin! Hey, Maze. Hey, Digi.
Thank you all for joining us today. As you can see, we're having a nice, peaceful Christmas here over on the stream. Santa's having a good time. Oh, that's right. Whacker wanted me to add a hat to this real quick. I gotta do that for him.
Whacker wants a lot of things.
I know, but unfortunately I'm happily married, so...
Fortunately.
Well, unfortunately for him. I see the way he looks at me.
Okay, so...
holding that knife.
Crispy, you'll want to turn me down a little bit and you and Andy both up a little bit.
Okay, well, me is easy. I just gotta turn a knob on my microphone. Let me just, Alright. Say something?
Hello.
Is that too low?
Well, let's check.
This is the kind of things we need to do before stream.
Okay, turn me up a little bit. Like, cut it to the middle.
Oh, that's where it was. How's that?
I mean, in between where I was and in between where you brought me.
There? Is that better?
Yeah, that's better, that's better.
Coolio. So yeah, it's Crimbus time.
So, question, everyone. According to Night Owl, Whacker wants only one thing, and it's disgusting. So, what does Whacker want? What does he really,
definitely
really
wants
want?
an IPA. That's what he wants.
Oh god, we were sharing drunken idiot stories last night, and I can't remember if you were in the room or not, Crispy, but text started going off about your hipster.
Oh no, I was there for that part because then
yeah.
he was like trying to tell me how to convince my wife to go visit Detroit.
Oh yeah.
I was like, I don't think you understand.
Hey there, Uwotum8177. It looks like you've already discovered our Discord.
Guggenheim.
Welcome to WBPL 76. We can legally be called entertainment.
Yes, the lawyers said that they have to be, otherwise we get in trouble. I'm drawing a Santa hat and a candy cane xenomorph because Whacker wanted me to. And he's not here, unfortunately, so... Although he will be later. He's just running late, I guess. He got stuck in traffic or stuck to his toilet. I don't know, one of those two.
Hammer,
I'm gonna
double
go stuck
check
to this one.
Double check the volume, because we can hear it in our test area.
Which volume?
Well, he's saying he can't hear us, period.
Oh, hold on.
Well, no, because I can hear us through Twitch. So, it's on his end if it's anything.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say I thought we were okay, but all right. That makes more sense.
Thank you, Night Owl, for covering the hashtags.
You gotta have those hash browns. I mean hashtags.
I'm not going to disagree with the hash brown part.
I could go for some hash browns right now. Honestly, I'm kind of hungry. I
Things
stopped at the
Crispy-
wait. What?
Things Crispy says when he's insisting he's not high.
I'm not high. I do have a beard.
Why don't I believe you?
Because I'm a good boy.
Oh, okay.
Night Owl, I don't stab myself in the ears when I use Q-tips. I'm reasonable and responsible with that, even though you're not...
Oh, I dig in there like there's gold. Anyway. Let me see. What better way to start off our Christmas stream with a nice drawing of a snowman? Definitely won't be weird in any sort of way. Or cursed.
Oh. Crispy, I have it.
Huh?
Our weird kaijus from back when?
Oh, are we doing a snowman kaiju?
Do a snowman kaiju.
Oh, hell yeah. Well, let's do a Christmas kaiju.
Kaiju, but there's not that many of us here.
I have another idea, and it's related to a movie that I saw involving a killer Christmas tree. Christmas tree kaiju.
God. I was gonna suggest a Christmas tree Furby hybrid.
Okay, yeah, no, that's a good thing for Wacker to show up to. I don't remember how to draw a Christmas tree.
Like a Christmas tree, but it was grown to be a giant Furby. But it's got decorations and shit on it. But it doesn't have
I know. I'm picking up what you're putting down. I feel you there.
This Christmas, I give you my heart.
What things are Spar sending me right now? Because he knows I'm streaming. I hate that a lot.
Well, send it to me too, Spara. Nidal says, despite his better judgment, you might need to turn Andy up a little more.
Alright, hold on. Let me do that.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Alright, we're good.
Yeah, that sounds better. I hope those settings don't change. I don't think they do, but you know, you never know.
I wish my cats would stop using me as a damn launching platform.
That's fun. No, I don't I don't necessarily have that problem with my cats. They just do other things, like, you know, lick my face at 3 in the morning. Well, Pudding does that, because yes, I have a cat named Pudding.
I'm fat, but I'm not a springboard, god damn it.
Digiman wants us to make a Hanukkah kaiju that fires missiles from its Hanukkah.
Okay, so we're gonna have the giant Christmas tree Furby kaiju fight the Hanukkah kaiju.
Oh, that's so mean!
It's Christmas.
Let's be honest. I would absolutely watch a Christmas kaiju movie. Does Jack Frost? I guess Jack Frost doesn't count. Does a kaiju have to be big?
Yes.
Okay. I think kaiju actually just means monster, but it's kind of.
There's an implicit of it being big.
I think it's kind of like modernly evolved to mean giant monster specifically.
Yeah.
But you know, what do we know? We're just a bunch of jackasses on the internet.
Yeah, just drawing weird shit.
When I hear kaiju, I think specifically giant monster, like Titan size.
I need to tell you about this movie I saw with the killer Christmas tree because it's fucking nuts. I cannot remember the name of it off the top of my head, but it involves what looked like Keith Moon and some lady that were serial killers that were killing people because they didn't know the true meaning of Christmas, and then the guy gets caught and killed or something. So the movie opens with the lady doing a ritual to bring him back in a Christmas tree. And then he accidentally kills her like Frankenstein's monster and then decides to go off and kill the girl that put him away, and it just turns into the whole thing. But the one
Chucky.
Well, I mean, it's kind of like Chucky. And, you know, it's about as cheesy as you can think. He kills him with like Christmas lights and stuff and his roots because of course he's a giant tree. But the part that really made me go, oh no, you're fine. The part that really got me in that movie was they like almost word for word stole the "you think the darkness is your ally" speech from The Dark Knight Rises, and the Christmas tree said that, and I about like shat. I was like, what?
That just makes me think of, God, what was it? Deathbed, the bed that eats people.
Oh, there was a Killer's Recliner one too I saw. It was about on that dumbness, yeah.
I can't remember. I think it might have been Patton Oswalt, but it might have been someone else. But somebody delivered a comedy thing about that, which I honestly, it hit home for me, which is, you have to think that as an artist, you often run into those moments where you're like, wow, this is shit. I have to do better than this. And you ask yourself, did the great artists ever hit themselves with, a lot of critique? And the answer is usually yes, but it's like, at what point do you realize you have to cut your losses and maybe this is no longer a product you can make? Because I asked myself about the guy who wrote Deathbed, the bed that eats people, and did he ever realize he just had to get his rent check, so he's pushing this movie through, regardless of the fact that it's crap? Or, and this one's worse for me, he had doubts, and he worked through them, thinking that this was good art.
Oh no.
You know, as an
go
artist,
ahead, Andy.
I was going to say, as an artist, sometimes you're like, this is going to end up like shit. But then you sit there and you say, if I don't finish it, I might regret it. 2, if I do finish it, I might actually learn something from this.
Well, I think Tupac or Biggie, I forget which of the two it was. There's a quote of his, or just sometime he said like when you make stuff, it don't necessarily worry about making it the best ever. Just get it out, like get it done.
Yeah.
Because, and that's something I heard today in another podcast that was talking about Can, like the band Can, the krautrock band.
Oh, sorry, Crispy, to interrupt. I must read quickly what Maze Hugh says. I have 2 words for you: laser dreidels.
Oh my god.
Anyways, back to you, Crispy.
What I was gonna say is, no, I think there's something to that, just like the idea of just like making stuff and not necessarily worrying about it being the best. Because, I mean, honestly, that's kind of how I got to here now. Like, I just started drawing shit for people because it was funny or fun, and now I shitpost on the internet on a Twitch stream.
Wunderbar.
Sometimes the stuff, like I've had like a few times where I make a piece of art that I don't like, and I'm like, and then someone else sees it and they just lose their mind, like, oh my god, this is great.
Oh, I've had that happen as well.
It's like, why?
Because you know why? Because we are our own worst critics, Andy. We are our own worst critics. That's exactly why we do it.
Well, and society does, carry out the necessary duty of keeping us artists from doing anything too out of line by constantly telling us how horrible we are. So, I mean, it's a natural defense mechanism for greater human, pack dynamics.
I've let society keep me down for my true art of stitching bodies together for a long time.
There's a joke I want to make right now about a certain defunct Austrian painter, but I'm not going to because we're on Twitch.
Oh, I was going with Jeepers Creepers.
Oh, though actually, your point, Storm, did remind me of. I wonder if that was the thought going through the band Jet when they released their second album, and the one music review place, rather than do a review, just posted a picture of a monkey pissing into its own face. Because that's what they thought of the album.
Yeah.
Which is just, oh man, that's such a burn.
So, if you don't mind me taking a moment to,
go for it.
Well, not correct per se, but elucidate on a point Hammer made in chat, which is Hanukkah is more of a military holiday, which is true. Apparently the Jews fought off a bunch of Assyrians. Technically incorrect. There were Assyrians in that army, but was a Seleucid army, meaning it was Greek-led. So we fought off a bunch of Greeks.
Oh man, you got to use that Ajax. It's tough on Greeks.
Hilarious, because Ajax is the name of a Greek hero.
I know. That's where the name comes from.
Which is hilarious.
Oh yeah, I love when you get a good like brand or art with shit like that behind it. It's like one of my favorite pieces of the Dada movement. I think I've talked about it on stream before. Stop me if I have, but one of my favorite pieces of the Dada movement, and I want chat to all go look this up, is by a man named Marcel. Yeah, The Fountain by Marcel Duchamp.
Yep.
Because of the story behind it. It's fucking great. Because there was a gallery that was, first of all, the Dada movement is like a whole thing. It's like artistic shitposting, essentially. It was like a post-World War I art movement that came about. And it was a lot of weird avant-garde shit. And
Well, it was specifically people who thought that the Western devotion to ideals of, like, beauty was bullshit after seeing the horrors of mechanized warfare.
Yeah, pretty much. And this gallery decided to have an exhibition where they're like, okay, you can submit anything, and we will display it as art. It does not matter what it is. So, our boy Deschamps here, he decides to go get a urinal, write our mutt and the year on the side, and submit it as a piece to the gallery. To prove a point that there are, in fact, limits to what people consider art. And they proved him right because they did not use the piece. Or they did not allow the piece.
Yep.
I would argue, though, that that is an art piece. Like, I would say
it is. It absolutely is. That's why it's in the Philadelphia art. That's why it's in the Philadelphia Art Museum right now. I've seen this in person. It's fucking wonderful. Duchamp was a shit poster. He's great. Another piece they have there of his was, I think it's called The Voyeur, is the name of it. But it's essentially this door, or these two doors with pinholes in it. And you have to look in the pinholes to see behind it where there is a figure, like a sculpted figure of like a nude woman just laying in the grass there. And it's like you have to be a voyeur to enjoy the piece, essentially.
I kind of get that. I don't approve, but I get it.
That's just the thing. It's like art gets interesting. I know there's the whole thing is like, oh, you have to feel something from art.
Not necessarily.
That's kind of what I'm getting at, because a lot of what I draw, minus the horrors that are on the stream, a lot of what I draw isn't necessarily like thought-provoking stuff. It's a lot. I like sci-fi. I like draw spaceships and stuff. There's a reason that I drew the Nebula ship that I did on the last stream.
Yeah. And my opinion on that is, draw what you want to draw. Let other people find the art in it.
That is a excellent way to look at it, and I wholly agree with that. Because people assign a lot of meaning to something where it's just like, oh, I thought it was fun.
Yep, and in some ways that's all it needs to be. Now, I do understand the concept of art as critique and art as statement and whatnot, and that's all good and well.
Yeah.
A lot of times I think people get lost in the weeds with that one and think that's the only way art can be.
I agree with that, yeah.
And that's where it's like, you might want to rein that in a little bit, bud, because at the end of the day, that encourages every artist to think that their art must be a statement.
Yeah, and then you get games like that game Yick, which was just like, ugh.
Yeah, and then you have the second problem of the assumption that...
right back.
Yeah, that all statements are valid, which, I'll be honest, I don't think all statements are valid. But that gets into a whole nother realm of philosophy. That gets into a whole nother realm of philosophy and politics, and we'll skip that for right now.
Alright, now I need to figure out how to draw a giant mecha menorah. Or am I doing the laser dreidel? Which am I doing?
Mecha menorah, although bear in mind that a menorah and a Hanukkah are different in key aspect.
I'm just going off of what I know, so...
The menorah will have 7 candles, the Hanukkah will have 9.
Ah. Well, I was going to give him 7 arms, but, or at least 6.
It's like King Ghidorah, but extra heads and not the wings.
Yeah.
Versus then, the menorah, which, like I said, is typically 7 candles.
That's the one I'll go with, because I don't often draw menorahs. You might be surprised to learn.
Yes. Also,
yeah. I was going to say, I haven't got menorah commissions. Please don't send me menorah commissions.
Be also when looking it up, because unfortunately, a word may mean something in one language and something different in another, and unfortunately, menorah is one of those cases.
Oh, well, there's a lot of people that take things out of context when it comes to things like that, but, you know.
Well, in this case, it's because menorah in Hebrew means light, or not light, it's like beholder of light or something like that.
Yeah.
But then menorah is also a component of human reproductive stuff.
I was not aware of that one.
Well, think of another human reproductive element that has the name majora.
Put it in my menorah.
Yeah, so just for the audience's sake, do be careful if you look that up.
Yeah. Definitely don't Google things on the internet that you shouldn't.
Yeah. Well, just, for example, when you're helping the little old lady that helps run your synagogue look up the price of menorahs online.
Oh.
Yeah, I think you've seen where this went.
Yeah, there's guidelines and rules that you want to follow for it. In fact, there's a website, Rule 34, that has all of the guidelines that you need.
Yep.
I'm a terrible host.
Night Owl tells us that avant-garde means advanced guard, which is true.
Yep.
When assigned to a type of school of art, meaning it is cutting edge or of new style.
Yeah, it's essentially, that.
Yeah. Okay, there's a good example of avant-garde that I actually very much appreciate, which is Pendrecki. Musician who was asked to do a piece commemorating the victims of the Holocaust, or not the Holocaust, the bombing of Nagasaki and Hiroshima.
Ah, yes.
And so he wrote a piece that was meant to sound like the horrors of Nagasaki and Hiroshima. And that, in and of itself made perfect sense. It's not a fun song to listen to. I listen to it once a year because I see its value as a piece of art. I do not enjoy it.
Oh, yeah.
It's
I
also
totally
considered,
get that.
It's also kind of considered like the grandfather of modern horror writing or horror music.
Interesting.
So it's where we get a lot of like the shrill strings in horror music.
This is going to be one weird-ass menorah.
As your man says, remember, it's only a kosher menorah for Hanukkah if it has 8 candles in a line at the same height. The 9th in the middle must be in between and higher.
Oh, this is not going to be kosher.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, by no means.
For one, we don't have a rabbi to bless this stream.
I don't think I'd put my rabbi through that.
I do want you to show him this picture just to get his reaction.
Oh, he'd probably, give me that awkward, what am I even looking at laugh. He'd be amused, but he'd not know what to make of it.
It's 'tis the season.
Part of it is also, because he and I have been friends for a long time, so, I met my rabbi when we were in college as part of a D&D group. So, I play D&D with my rabbi.
That's fun.
So, he gets that I have a strange sense of humor, but I'll be honest, I don't think he even knows what to make of the Oxen Legion. Other than...
As he should.
Yeah, other than, wow, that text guy has a really cool voice.
Yes.
Which is true, so...
Indeed. You too can get this voice if you smoke Marlboros for 50 years now.
Well, we don't suggest that. In Texas' case,
No.
you got it through Barrett's esophagus. Where...
No, I do know that. I'm just making a stupid joke, because, you know...
Oh, okay. Sorry, I'm autistic and I have to be technically correct.
No, I wouldn't know anything about that, being autistic as well. Definitely did not get into an argument yesterday about how battleships are obsolete with someone.
Bringing me to my general notion of, fuck you, rule of cool.
No, god damn it. No, we're not doing... There's many hills I will die on, but... Not that one.
You just want to be split apart. I took my arms and I threw it over there. I took my legs and I threw it over there.
I mean, we can do that. I got a chainsaw. I, Let me see here. Oh, I know how I'll do this.
I think laser dreidel should be like a dreidel, and in the background it's got like lasers coming out, and it's got a pair of sunglasses on.
Okay, so I just had a thought process here for a second. When you said laser dreidel, I'm like, oh, okay, so he can fight together with this like Soundwave in his cassettes, and then I immediately pictured Soundwave with like a yarmulke on and Hasidic curls, and I was just like, all right.
Did you see that the Family Guy reference is like Optimus Prime, and he?
Yeah, I mean it's basically that, but it's Soundwave. I don't know. I think Soundwave is probably like Rastafarian or something.
Crispy.
Actually, he'd probably be pretty mellow. What?
Crispy, it just occurred to me. Do add the 8th and 9th minarets, but have them as like wings or like something.
Oh yeah, like a jetpack.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. Okay, hold on. I need to move these down so I can add them, but that's fine. Storm, you draw on your tablet a lot, right?
Yeah, I've not been keeping up with it lately just due to the new job, but
Oh, that's fair. I'm more asked because I want to ask if this has happened to you. Have you ever like been drawing traditionally and then you make a mistake and you go to reach for the Control Z button, but you're like, oh wait, this is paper.
Oh god, yep.
Oh, thank God, I'm not just a moron.
I mean,
I've done that more times than I want to admit.
I'm not going to say you're not, but your feelings are valid.
Hashtag artist problems.
If you do that again, I will shit in places that will leave you confused.
Why is it in the bread box?
And granted, I know this is something his character won't say, but for the sci-fi game, or the space opera game, I was joking about like that being a warning that Andy's character, the security chief, gives people.
I would love to see that, because it's like, you know, when you said pinch a loaf, I didn't think you were going to be literal with it.
But no, Andy's character is a lot more respectable than that.
Meanwhile, in our Star Wars game, my Mandalorian character set a hut on fire. And not just like a hut, like a normal hut, like an anemic, sickly hut who was just like a crime boss we had to kill. I didn't shoot him. I used the flamethrower. And I was like, afterwards, like, oh, fuck. I kind of feel bad. I also, you know, did other things too, like test drugs on a homeless man.
Concern.
Well, we had to make sure they worked, and I just got them from a guy in an alley's.
Ah, yes, the use of the homeless.
The things you do when you roleplay.
Bringing me to the Dead Kennedy song. We don't need you anymore. We don't need you anymore.
Soup is good food.
You know, I was kind of trying to go for like young cadet, but we ended up making him into some like like at this point he's like a corporal or something, or he would have been.
He's still younger in the sense that he's like in his early 20s, but he's had his full 4 years as a soldier.
He's getting too old for this shit. There's a Christmas movie I gotta watch, Die Hard.
But that said, you know, he is kind of a cadet in the sense of he grew up on a ship, but he was part of the infantry. He's never been part of a ship's main crew.
Oh, what a fun job to have.
So he has never been like ship staff before. So in that regard, yes, he is in fact the newbie.
His name is Soap. Soap!
He's like good with rifles. I kind of wish I made him better with hand to hand now, but he can grow into that.
Oh yeah,
I gave my Mandalorian a shotgun.
Yeah, it's always due to note that my philosophy in D&D is that, well, not just D&D, but in roleplay is level 1 characters shouldn't always, or don't always need to be, Mr. Bright-Eyed and Bushy-Tailed that doesn't know what's happening yet.
Oh no. You can absolutely be a burnt out
with my character.
like, slacker.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, you're fine. You're fine. Go ahead.
I was trying to go for like almost like instant, like because I don't know anything about the world or setting or even the rules, so I was kind of trying to make a character that kind of like fill in for that, be like, what's going on?
Yeah. Oh, and I see what you're saying. Yeah, and that I think that is still a healthy approach because, like you said, your character maybe has had limited perspective of the world.
Well, yeah, because he's been on Scorpion. I was actually going to ask, like, Crispy, like, dude, can we do the insignia for Scorpion Core?
Oh.
I mean, I could do logos. Like, I do logos a lot, also, actually.
Question Store. Crispy brought up a good thing because when I was building up my rifle skill, I was thinking like typical medium range or long range rifle. Not sniper rifle, but typical grunt rifle.
Yeah.
Does that apply to shotguns as well?
The medium weapons does. The rifle specifically does not. So a shotgun would be a high impact, closer range weapon. Though there are shotguns that are longer range. I know that's.
I mean, shotguns have longer range than you think they do.
Yeah, movies do that.
Did I get a snub nose rifle, Crispy?
How snub are we talking?
On that note, sorry, Andy. Sorry to interrupt. If you want to, because we haven't started yet, we could change rifles as a specialty over to shotgun.
No, because that was the point of his rifle. Like, remember, he's pretty much a footman that's.
Yeah, fresh out of his first round of the service.
Yeah, he's a thin G.
How many short sorties do you think he would have been through?
I mean, if he fought during the 226-112 war, then...
Did you name that after Rush?
No, actually, not on purpose. So I'll explain why it's called that in a moment. But the 226-112 war, there would have been a lot of open street fighting as attempts to retake cities on planets, because the Imperium isn't going to bombard its own planets. It wants to bring those planets back under control, and it knows it's going to have a tough time doing it because of the reason for the rebellion, which was corrupt officers. And also that those officers themselves incited the rebellion in a lot of cases. So they have, the difficult task ahead of them of looking like the bad guys while trying to subdue the bad guys. But what that meant ultimately is that the war, which I based heavily off of the Serbo-Croatian conflict, there is a lot of just like direct street-to-street fighting.
Ah, fun.
And so your character probably learned a lot about what urban warfare looks like. That said, he never has done he hasn't done Navy SEAL shit yet.
Yeah.
Yet.
And how much of that would have been mech piloting and actual grunt on the ground?
It would have been a combination of all of the above.
Oh, that's right. I have my my character,
Yeah, we do have to finish your character up.
Oh, that's right. We never did finish it. I forget what I did for her, but she's a fun one.
She is she is trained as an officer specifically, so how to manage a ship, which means she is being hired for the chief executive officer of the ship. Which is to say the captain.
Call me Janeway because we're going to glass that continent.
And not wrong.
Captain spade him away, Janeway.
Yep. There is one factor which I'm not going to expose because Andy wouldn't know this yet. There's another member of the party who would, but there's that thing about her childhood. If you'll recall.
I don't.
That thing I told you?
But we can... we can talk about that later.
You know what? Actually, it's not going to be too much of a surprise. The party's going to learn that first session. but Andy, your character wouldn't know this, so that's where we'll put that.
Yeah.
Is that she's a mage.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. That was the fun part.
Yep.
I was like trying to remember because it's been so long since we talked about my character, and I've had like shit going on, so I just kind of completely forgot.
Unfortunately, Crispy was going through some shit when we were working on it, and
yeah,
had a moment, and it's like, you know what? This is very secondary. Go have a good day. I know that's hard right now, but go have a good day.
Yeah, it's been rough the past bit of time here for me, especially in this past week.
Yeah.
But I'm hanging in there.
Yeah.
I just wasn't really feeling up to things since the lack of stream last week, but
yeah,
I'll be okay.
Mm-hmm.
To be honest, it's nice to be able to do this kind of stuff. Helps.
Yeah.
I feel like maybe it's just my own like self-depreciation saying this, but I feel like most people don't necessarily appreciate, art and creativity, other than more like there's almost like a stigma to it, if that makes sense.
I mean, artists can be a difficult sort. As one myself, I'm not going to deny that. So I get where that would come from.
But it's like the value of art, almost, I guess you could say, or like the value of being an artist. Kind of, there's a bit of a stigma to it.
Yeah. Well, I think one thing that hurts is people, when they order something nowadays from something, they're expecting something that is made to spec for what they want to do.
Yeah.
And invariably, art can't be that. Like, well, it can if you are going for completely, like, industrial, production. Full stop, no consideration of uniqueness, we'll say.
Cookie cutter, yeah.
Yeah, cookie cutter. There we go.
Okay.
And I mean, there's plenty of people who make a good living on, what we derisively call kitsch, but really is ultimately like the kind of or art that people can decorate their houses with, when they don't maybe have a link into the higher art community. But it's unfortunately about the only thing a lot of artists can make money on, and it's in no way, rewarding.
Well, that and porn, and I'm not going to do that for art.
I strongly recommend against that for anyone, because it is soul crushing, the stuff.
Yeah, I know at least one artist who was doing a lot of not safe for work, and he like literally deleted his Discord and stuff just because like this is just too much. And I don't blame him for that, because it's just like, well, honestly, that's a whole other conversation, that whole thing, but yeah. It's not worth it in a lot of ways. I mean, props to the people that can do it, but I digress.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so, yeah, that's one of those things where it's like, how does one, how does one make people appreciate the difficulties when you as the artist are also having to tell them, like, I could draw that for you, but everyone else has, seen that before, or I could draw that for you, but it's not what you actually want. Because a lot of people, a lot of people don't realize, just how much the customer is always right until they're not.
I haven't myself run into that too much with the commissions that I've done. Granted, I don't do a lot of commissions. I do a good amount, but I'm not like, it's not my day job. Like, I have a full-time day job, and I'm not trying to do this for a living. As enticing as it might be sometimes, because it's just, that's a real quick way to just ruin your enjoyment of it. But, there's been certain times where people haven't necessarily been clear with what they want, and it's been a bit frustrating on my end, because, like, it's... Like, I don't mind people being somewhat vague. Like, it gives me some wiggle room. But at a certain point, I'm just like, at least give me a rough idea of what you're thinking. Don't just be like, well, you're the artist, just do it yourself, Because then I'm just going to do my own thing, and chances are you might not like it, because it's going to be shit like this.
Yes.
Like it
Everyone's
helped
do
to...
art, except for Crispy, who drew Cthulhu Furby tentacling.
Do I need to pull the picture up? I will.
This is the opposite of art.
I regret nothing.
I
My
love you,
ancestors
Crispy.
are smiling on me, Imperial. Can you say the same?
I love you, Crispy. You're my one excuse every week to laugh like Scooby-Doo.
I'm glad, man. I'm glad I can be that for you. I love doing these streams. They're fun.
Yep.
Actually, they've also been really helpful, too, because it's kind of gets me to think on my feet and just...
Night Owl says, do it, Crispy, do it.
Yes! Okay, I'll pull up the picture one sec. I'm sure people haven't seen it in a while. And oh, this will be fun for the new people. This was the picture. My
Is that the
beautiful
moon or is
boy.
that the sun going like, ah, shit?
It's the sun. The sun is very upset.
Hey, asshole!
Get the fuck out of here! And then somebody watching the stream took that and they put it in that one meme comic of just like Terry has done the opposite of art, and then they just fuck it, I'll just pull that up as well because
Yeah.
nah, I'm hitting the wrong buttons.
Quinless
There it
says
is.
just what I needed before I go to sleep. They're not wrong.
They're not wrong, but they're not right either. You gotta
Well,
freak them out, man. I stand by that as a strategy. Like, I would love to work into psyops if I was in the military. If I had to be in the military, I don't really want to, but if I had to be, I would like to work for psyops because I would have so much fun just fucking with people.
Yes.
Because it's like imagine the Navy SEALs show up, but they're wearing clown costumes, or like they're dressed up like E.T. You wouldn't know what to think.
I love the world you're creating here, Crispy.
Yeah. It's like, you just gotta get strange with it, man. Like, if the enemy doesn't know, then they can't anticipate your actions.
The Americans don't feel the need to understand their own combat doctrine in order to leave their enemy confused.
Exactly. Yes, and.
Yes, and as a combat doctrine.
Yeah, pretty much. That's how we come up with shit like, I don't know. There's some weird-ass contraptions I've seen.
Hold my beer as a doctrine.
Oh, yeah, no, that happens a lot. It's like the gun trucks in Vietnam they had. They basically just took a bunch of deuce and a halves and just modded the hell out of them, put guns on them like a Mad Max movie. The guns, they just, they fell off a truck or something, but...
Yep.
And they got to do drive-bys and convoys when the enemy showed up.
Yes.
Which is fucking rad.
But yes, I am excited about the game. Dun, 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 dun,
That's this Saturday, right?
the session 0, or not Saturday, Friday night.
Friday night. Okay. I should be around for that.
Yeah, the session 0 will be just us kind of making sure everyone has their characters built, what the...
Yeah.
kind of
Okay, so we can work on that then.
Yeah, what we are sort of also preempting to be happening, this is why your character accepted the mission or didn't, just so everyone's sort of on the same page, because there's always that difficulty of if you don't know what's going on, you may end up asking the question of, like, why did your character accept this mission, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, it does help from a roleplay perspective.
Yeah, and so it's in order to ameliorate that. Which is why I think session 0s are typically a good idea.
They certainly help a lot. It helps you figure shit out. Oh, that's right. I drew them on different layers. That's why it's not working. Do you guys have snow where you're at, Storm?
Oh, a lot of it right now.
Oh, that's right. You did tell me that the other day.
Yeah.
I asked because right now here it's like 50 and raining, and it feels real cyberpunk out.
Yes.
Like I should go on a walk in a trench coat and like synthwave should start playing.
Also, yes.
There is a YouTube channel that I just drop in on sometimes, Blade Runner Radio, and it's pretty great because it's just like Blade Runner themed music.
Excellent.
I would put it on stream right now, but I'm not entirely sure if it's kosher. I don't want to get the stream nuked again.
Crispy, nothing you listen to is kosher.
No, it's fair.
I joke.
I mean, I was listening to Butthole Surfers earlier today, so I don't think that's kosher.
Crispy listens to the opposite of music.
I regret nothing.
I'm joking. Butthole Surfers is one of my
I was gonna say, Butthole Surfers has been around for a long time.
Yeah, it's one of my guitarist's favorite bands.
Yeah, I don't mind the sun sometimes. I've been listening to a band called the Brian Jonestown Massacre. They're pretty fun. More chill band. They sometimes show up on the one radio station my wife and I listen to when we're driving.
Yes.
Actually, I think that's where I got introduced to them, and then they started showing up in my Pandora for the bands that I listen to. I like Pandora a lot. It's a good way to find music. It's how I found one of my new favorite bands, All Them Witches, which I highly recommend if you like more of the blues psychedelic sort of feel to your music.
Yes.
I don't want to say I have like weird tastes in music, but I definitely have some tastes that are more of like
Specific.
yeah.
Particular.
That's a good way to put it. To make me not sound like a hipster.
I mean, you are, but I get your point.
God damn it.
Oh, poor Crispy, poor Crispy, poor Crispy.
I'm sitting here in my Penguin from Wallace and Gromit slippers with my robot drinking an IPA.
Ooh. I need to put on
And
my
I am
soft
insulted.
ball.
I have some pretty fun slippers on. They're great.
Man, it rained so bad down here. I thought I was going to flood the store.
That would have been a fun day at work.
I get the distinct feeling
rained.
you wouldn't have objected if it had.
Yeah, it's just like, sweet, do I get to go home?
So I've got like 24 hours of a vacation time left. And I'm sitting there trying to like, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? You know, I was talking to my manager and all that. I was like, so look, I want you to understand that this is like free money. Because it's paid vacation. You know, I was like, you know, I don't have to take days off. You can just like give me like pay me out for it. And they say, no, you can only do that if you have like 3 weeks and yada yada yada. So they go,
I currently need to...
No, just
I
trying
currently
to
need
get
to...
time off and all that.
Oh, no, that's fine. I currently need to figure out my,
PTO.
something for my vacation where I have a specific amount of time I'm taking off for, or we have off for vacation just because of, where I work. But most of those days are covered, but I need to figure out if I want to use PTO for like 2 of them.
Yes.
Which, on one hand, I kind of want to, but on the other, it's like, I'm saving that because I want to come to the meetup next year, and as well, you know, I've got 2 other trips that I haven't, that I want to use PTO time for, so.
Yeah. Also, Crispy, one Mr. Night Owl says, nothing you say makes you not sound like a hipster.
God damn it. I mean, I do go on art rants sometimes.
But then again, who doesn't in our sphere of friends?
Well, I'll say this. If I'm a hipster, I'm not the pretentious kind. I'm not about to go break keys off a typewriter or just be an asshole.
I can't. Say
I just
that
like.
Yeah, I can't say that I'm familiar with that in particular.
I don't know. I just like things that aren't necessarily mainstream. In part because it's just like so much stuff just gets shoved in our fucking faces these days.
This is true.
I wonder if I should use Christmas colors for the background, although that might clash with the Furby. Oh, there we go. That'll work.
Night Owl lets us know that he used to work in Williamsburg, the hipster one.
Ah. Well, I do have flannel, but I also don't have a man bun, so...
Then you are okay in my book. Glares
Yeah.
angrily at the man bun brigade.
I don't understand the appeal of that. I really don't. It just seems like a pain in the ass. Granted, I do grow I have curly hair, so if I did grow it out to the length I do, like I do now, I might have a man bun, but I also don't think I would want to have that, because I don't like a ponytail.
Be wary, Crispy. Down that way does darkness lie.
Oh, I know. That's how I start getting really into fucking Band of Horses and shit. So there's our kaiju fight. It looks wonderful. I'm going to have to send this to Wacker real quick so I can get his reaction.
And send it to me as well. I'm showing that to my rabbi.
All right, I hope he likes the file name of fart for it, but
I can rename it if necessary.
that's true. You can. I'll do that real quick. My stream doodles folder is getting quite large at this point because I've done a number of streams.
Yes.
Which I am happy for. I've actually got a couple pieces that I want to like make stickers of. Anyway, I think I'm going to draw Krampus because I had that thought in my head earlier today of drawing Krampus and it sounds fun. So I'm going to draw Krampus. You guys ever watch that movie Krampus? That's something my wife and I watch every year.
Nah, I'll be honest, I haven't.
It's a weird one.
Indeed.
Actually, hold on. I need to look up Krampus real quick. Just because I know what he is, I'm just like... It's an art thing.
Second guessing if you remember.
Yeah, okay. So he does have the Devo look. Alright, let's see how we do here with this. Apparently in Europe there's like Krampus night where there's dudes that just dress up in Krampus and go around hitting people with sticks.
Oh yeah, I saw that. They're really good costumes too.
Oh, I'm sure those guys work in that shit all year.
The one time a year I could go around and beat kids and not get arrested for it.
I envy those men.
You little shit.
I don't want to speak out of turn here, but I feel like most of the people watching stream can think of at least one instance where they wish they could go smack a child. It's like that one King of the Hill episode where he's getting tormented by the kid with like the dusty old bones.
Maze Hughes
Shit.
says, if anyone ever sees him in a man bun, we deserve to smack him because he's clearly on crack when he decided to do something.
Yeah, that's fair.
And Andy, you just got quoted with, the one time of year I can go around beating kids and not get arrested for it.
It's the most wonderful
Wonderful
time.
time of the year.
Thing is, I feel like Frank Sinatra would have said that quote as well. It's like, oh, I get to hit children. Yeah, Krampus got that weird-looking face.
Mr. Jiggle suggests the shankla.
What is that?
That's the that's a Spanish word for slipper. So when Spanish mothers decide it's time to lay down the law.
The Spanish
Mexican.
the Latino execution method. Death by slipper. I would love to see a fire. I just want to see like somebody make this film, and I feel like the people, like Latin Americans, would love it. Where it's just like somebody's like getting like tied to a post, and they got a cigarette in their mouth and a blindfold on, and there's just like a bunch of abuelas there with slippers just like lined up.
I shouldn't laugh, but also I'm gonna laugh.
Dude, Disney made a movie where they had an old woman with a slipper. It's like, I don't think anyone's. They'll just be like, yeah, I don't know, that makes sense.
Yep.
Oh, that's right. He's got that Gene Simmons tongue.
Oh yeah. Mr. Jiggle points out that the slipper is also something you must fear from Korean grandmothers.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I saw Squid Games. I know how that shit goes. That's right, they're making a new season of Squid Games.
At some points, I start to wonder just how much you can keep making seasons of a thing.
There's definitely some shows where they've very much overstayed their welcome in terms of the amount of seasons that they've made.
Now, to be fair, I also haven't watched Squid Games yet. It must be popular for a reason, so I'm not going to, say, oh, it's clearly bad. I don't know.
They set it up for a sequel, but it's just like, where do they take it from here, you know?
Yeah. So, I don't know if it is applicable there, but it just seems like that's become a thing of, oh, this is a hit. Was it built to have sequels? Whatever.
Yeah, that's...
So, yeah.
There's definitely some shows that I feel like they would have been fine as just like a one-season thing. You know, like Westworld, I think was pretty good. I think it might have been fine with just like 2 seasons, but once they get off of like the island or whatever, it's like, where do you go from there? And then of course you have the other problem where it's, you know, they try to make a TV series out of something big and huge, and then it just ends up being like something that you sorry, I'm changing music here real quick and having a brain fart. It ends up being a show that's like too big to finish, you know?
Yeah.
Because that's what happened with Game of Thrones, where they got so... Like, they had to cram so much in the last season, and then they did it poorly in certain aspects. Like, God, that battle with the White Walkers was probably one of the worst things they could have done for that.
Mm-hmm.
Solely because of the lighting for it. I'm not saying the battle was bad. I personally would have had that as, like, the climactic end of the series, but... Yeah. That lighting for it just ruined that entire battle, because they're like, oh no, we need to be realistic, it needs to be realistic lighting. And you see nothing. And I'm sure I'm not echoing a point that most people watching the stream have felt for that, but it's like, oh, it's so dumb.
At some point there's a difference between simulationism and realism. Realism is the desire to make it feel real, as opposed to technically or clinically exact.
Yeah. And I think, you know, I'm totally fine with things feeling realistic to a point, but at a certain point, you just got to be like, all right, we're just gonna do this our way, because, for one, it's fantasy. Game of Thrones is fantasy. You don't need to make it super realistic when you have dragons and shit.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, it did get a reputation for being, like, realistic. Again, not truly realist, but realistic.
The problem is that they take that shit. They take it so literally when it comes to realism and stuff, to the point where it sabotages it, like it did with Game of Thrones.
Oh yeah, most certainly.
I don't think anyone would have thought a single thing of it if they would have had it, like, I don't know, how Lord of the Rings did it, where they had the Helm's Deep battle, and it was like a blue light to everything. Why? Because you could see it then.
Yeah, it's standard, like, artistic color theory when applied to how to portray something realistic, real-ish, as it were, when, dealing with the natural restraints of what that story might have otherwise presented.
Yeah. It's like, I think a series that does realism fairly well is The Expanse.
I've heard good things. I really need to watch it. I keep hearing that it's kind of my sort of sci-fi.
I think you would like it.
Yeah, when it came out, I was working on my master's degree, so I never actually got the chance to get into it.
Yeah. Which is, I mean, now the bonus is that you got, like, all the seasons out, so you can watch the whole thing.
Yes. Yeah, to quote Mr. Clemens, the difference between truth and fiction is fiction is obligated to make sense. That does not necessarily mean that that making sense is bound solely to the prerogative of, technical correctness.
Yeah. Where it's like, people want to see realism in sci-fi. I get it. But at a certain point, do you really want to see these people just go across space for, centuries? If it's not a plot point of the story?
Yep. Oh, that's why, like, one of the sort of general rules I kept about Thronebreaker is I will try to keep it at hard science until hard science messes with the rule of cool.
See, for my story I'm working on, which I still do not have a title for, I'm really bad at coming up with names for shit sometimes. Mm-hmm. For that, I'm very much taking the more softer sci-fi approach, but the thing I'm doing is I'm setting rules for myself in the setting as to how certain things work. It's like, why do we not have AI in this setting? Why do we have, people that essentially act as, man-machine interfaces between navigation for a starship? Oh, because we had this war where rampant use of AI without them considering anything in terms of ethics and just having set goals is the reason why there was two-thirds of humanity got wiped out or some shit.
Yeah.
Like that.
Quinlist says, to quote epic rap battles, J.R. Tolkien versus George R.R. Martin, we all know the world is full of chance and anarchy, so yes, it is true to life for characters to die randomly, but newsflash, the genre is called fantasy. It's meant to be unrealistic, you myopic manatee.
I was actually thinking about that clip.
Yep.
So, very, very fitting.
Yeah, I also agree with what you're saying, Brewster. The amount of stuff they were putting into the show, if they really wanted to close it off with the correct kind of bang, they would have given Game of Thrones like 2 more seasons than they did.
Yeah.
But somebody had to chase that Star Wars money.
Yeah, that's a whole other conversation. Also, it's like, I don't know. I don't want to talk shit on not J.R. Tolkien. George R.R. Martin. Because, he obviously made a very beloved series and he knows what he's doing. But I do think he absolutely wrote himself into a corner that he doesn't know how to get himself out of, because I don't think we're ever going to see those Game of Thrones books finished.
I can believe that we'll see Winds of Winter finished, but not whatever Book 7 is supposed to be.
Yeah. you know.
And it would be fair to call me an optimist for that. But at the same time, I try not to let a TV show damage my love for a book.
Which is fair. You shouldn't.
But there's also then the other half of... I was really into Game of Thrones at first because there was... It's not that there was nothing like it, but there was not a lot like it on TV.
No.
Or in media and such, you know. But at the same time, I kind of fell out of love with it once, you know, the 20-teens age of nihilism had begun.
Oh. I didn't realize the 20-teens were an era of nihilism, but I guess Rick and Morty was around, so...
Rick and Morty, The Walking Dead,
The Walking Dead.
Game of Thrones. Everything had to be Game of Thrones or Rick and Morty. Everything had to be cynical and...
Yeah, and I think we've talked about before how we both just, like, dislike that cynical, nihilistic approach to everything.
Yep.
You know?
Also, Andy, sorry, I think we keep forgetting you exist.
Yeah, sorry, bud. You're not saying. If you have anything you'd like to add, feel free.
I said I didn't know you guys are women.
Well, now that you say that, I'm gonna essentially put on this chapstick and hum "Goodbye Horses" to myself.
Oh God, no, not again!
My lips are very chapped right now. It sucks. I can't eat anything spicy because then they burn for hours.
Chopped lips.
Would you
Chapstick.
fuck me? I'd fuck me.
No, it was chaps. No, I was doing the Mothman prophecies. Chopstick.
Oh.
What do I get in my backpack or in my pocket? Chopstick.
The fucking Men in Black. Oh man. So yeah, there's the phenomenon of Men in Black goes beyond the movies. It gets real weird with shit.
Yes.
Yeah.
Some interesting lore there. If we want to get into.
I've heard like sometimes they're described having like pipes and stuff, and their skin is like squishy.
Yeah.
Like they're like flesh golems or something.
Yeah, it's just like really weird, like herky-jerky movements and things.
Yes.
Like they're trying to be people, but they're not people.
I do like the one idea where it's like they could just be awkward nerds.
What if they just have autism? Shut up!
Maybe it's autism. Maybe it's Maybelline.
There was a point this weekend where I was talking to my sister, and I said something. I forget what I said, but my sister's like, "Why do you like this?" And I just like, in the most like deadpan voice, I'm just like, "Autism." Caught her off guard with that one.
Yes.
Kind of make a twig big enough to smack children with. Yeah. Some Blair Witch looking ass shit.
Okay, so a little bit of a personal rant right now.
No.
Have you...
We don't rant here.
Yeah, have you ever liked something, knowing full well that it's overrated?
Yeah, I listen to the Beatles.
But, well, there you go. But then, you know, the amount to which people say it's overrated becomes its own kind of overrated, and then you just get, like, furious and say, well, fuck you, it was popular for a reason.
I want to say yes, but I cannot think of an instance of what thing was.
Mm-hmm.
If that makes sense.
All I'm thinking of now is Furious George, the furious little monkey.
Furious George is a member of the Legion.
He is.
He's French.
Hon hon.
When he growls, he'll tear your face apart. Furious George.
I want to send him pictures of me cooking Spam just to see what he does.
Yes.
He'll probably, like, swear at me.
It is his prerogative.
He's like, you don't understand, I put it in the noodle, in the ramen.
Mr. Jiggle says all the time and cites HNK MK23 and USP 45T as one of them. Oh, those are gun types, that's right. Or,
yes.
That's Heckler and Koch Mark 23?
Heckler my cock. Yeah.
Okay. Do clarify for me, Jiggler. I am not as gun familiar.
I could clarify. What was the names again?
The H&K MK23 or Mark 23. So I assume a Heckler and Koch gun, and then the USP 45T, which I do
Those are
not...
both pistols.
Okay, so I was reading that right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Mark 23 SOCOM is like Solid Snake's gun, essentially.
Ah. Yeah. So it's one of the weird things about being in the Legion and being one of the few who's not super gun educated, because it's like, I got in as a musician.
I just know things. I'm not saying I'm educated by any stretch.
Yeah. But no, it just means I always have to definitely play the novice once gun talk starts.
It'd be like that. I know I have like a cursory knowledge. I don't know the super in-depth lore shit like other people do.
Vox Dark Star says, it's Quispy, oo-woo.
Hit me. How bro?
And thank you for resubscribing, Vox Dark Star.
I'm drawing Krampus.
Yeah, so my example for that is a lot of people who like will go off about like, oh, you know, Final Fantasy VI or Final Fantasy VII are overrated, and it's like, yeah, they're overrated for a reason. It's called being beloved.
Yeah.
I don't like things. Meh.
Andy doing a perfect representation of my opinion on the matter.
It's not so much overrated, but I can think of at least one thing where somebody was like busting on it even though it hadn't come out yet, and I'm just like, you know, how about you just like let people enjoy this shit? I don't know if that's the same thing, but
How dare you like things I don't like?
I think that is something to do with it, where it's like people have... It's become a pastime to critique things in Western culture.
Yeah, and I'll admit that there's times I'm fully guilty of that. I'm not saying I'm immune from that.
And so, yeah, the big problem then is that, in a way, because... And I do think there's a legit cause behind this, because some things have become genuinely unenjoyable due to, you know, Hollywood interference and all the bullshit that we could cite about that.
Yeah.
That people have forgotten that, hey, there is such a thing as enjoying something full send, unironically, legitimately, without it being some kind of big artistic statement.
Yeah.
And
which is why I like to watch cheesy B movies with my wife.
There you go. And so, like, you know, there's a lot of times I do try to be understanding, because I feel like people form their opinions for a reason. Unfortunately, I just think that a lot of times those reasons are no longer being moderated by...
And that's the thing, it's like, there's times where it's like, somebody's like, I don't like this thing that I like, and I'm like, I can understand that, because, you know, there's stuff I can see about it where I'm like, that people would not like this. But then there's times where people are just talking shit on it because they have an opinion about a franchise or something, and just think that they know what the best thing is, which I feel like a hypocrite saying because of my thoughts on Star Wars.
I was about to make a joke.
Yeah. No, I fully... Like, I can get pretty bent out of shape about Star Wars, but...
No, don't get me wrong. I mean, I think Star Wars is one of the things that caused this. The whole,
yeah.
You know, studio interference, catering to sort of an ill-defined modern audience, etc., etc.
Yeah, but it's like, when you're trying to present points to someone and they're just shooting it down saying, no, you're wrong, it's shit, like, that's where I'm just like, alright.
I would actually say it came before Star Wars, Mr. Jiggle, but it you know, actually Catalyst might be the right word, but there was kindling being gathered before.
I would say that honestly, even before Disney bought it, like, I know people are very divisive over the prequels, but I would say that that's definitely an example of, you know...
Well, I would say that it was the sudden... What would you call it? The sudden appearance of critique culture on YouTube and things like that, where, like, suddenly everyone and their mom was trying to be Nostalgia Critic or Red Letter Media.
Or AVGN, yeah.
Or, AVGN, another good example. Yeah. And, like, it's not like they did anything wrong. Like, many of those are legit good artists, but They were, also beginning a movement that I don't think they could have, foreseen.
Oh, no. I don't know who any of those people,
yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what I mean.
Responsible at all for that, because you can't assume something like that is going to happen when you start making things.
Yeah, you know.
And that happens with, like, anything, like any sort of trend or something. There's always going to be people that just take that shit way too far, and then they just kind of ruin the fun for everybody.
Yeah.
Which,
and so, yeah, it becomes just this problem process.
Honestly, that's kind of another reason why I'm, like, into the more out there stuff, because I don't need people ruining it for me with their bullshit.
Mr. Jiggle has a good one here. Star Wars was the Franz Ferdinand. There was simmering before, but...
Oh, yeah. That is a really good way to put that.
Also, Ether has arrived.
Hello.
Haha, nice.
I'm drawing Krampus.
And yes, Ether notices our Krampus. Ooh.
I forget how goat eyes look. They're really weird looking.
Yes, they are. It is why Techie thinks it is right to contemplate them.
Yeah, just remember when you gaze in the abyss, it buys back.
I mean, I write music for the goat, so... well, I don't write it for him. I add parts and so forth, and then engineer it for him.
That still is an important part of it.
It is, but I should clarify that goat is the composer in that.
No, that makes sense, yeah.
I'm more of like an arranger / stuff. Although I do write my own music.
I'm a fluffer.
And I think as our process kind of refines, he's wanting to see more creative input from people.
Oh yeah, no, that's how it goes. It's like, how I've started doing thumbnails.
This is the moment where Goat just breaks into the room to be contrarian and yells, "No, Storm Song, shut the fuck up, I don't want your opinion."
Okay, you're trying to summon the Tulpa here.
It's not a Tulpa.
Schizophrenia.
I thought you summoned those when you... Never mind.
Tulpas are weird, man.
Yeah.
Interesting, but weird.
Like, it's kind of like that orc, like 40k orc stuff. Like, it only becomes real because so many people believe in it or speak about it.
It really... You're not far off with that, because it really does feel like that a lot of the time. When it comes to that sort of thing. Because I honestly had this thought on the way to work this morning, funny enough, was like, there is something to the idea of changing your perception changes reality.
Mm-hmm. Almost certainly.
And I can see, like, if you put enough mental focus and energy into something like a tulpa, how that could become real in a way.
Yeah. Q, Whacker's absolute, I doubt everything that doesn't have quote, objective science. Sorry.
Okay, Carl Sagan.
I'm being a salty little Sandy here.
No, that's fair.
Nah, we love Whacker.
We love Whacker, even if he's wrong. He's gonna be so mad when he hears this stream. He's like, "You fucking son of a bitch!" And I'm just gonna laugh.
You shouldn't be so angry when you're like 67, Whacker.
Yeah, think of your blood pressure.
Angerous Whacker noises intensify.
I need my jerk-off pills.
What?
Don't worry about it. I definitely didn't steal that from Game Grumps.
I love Game Grumps. In
They're
fact,
pretty fun.
They made me gay. No.
I haven't watched Game Grumps in I haven't watched a lot of my YouTube stuff in years. The only thing I've been watching YouTube-wise regularly is Internet City.
I've been watching, like,
Internet
compilations rather than, like, channel videos.
Yeah.
But, La Seam.
Mr. Jiggle says that thought forms are an actual theory in the paranormal community. Yes, we are aware. Be it profound research for some things of such things.
That and the idea of the collective unconscious are two things where I'm like, there might be something to that.
I am very much a believer in collective unconscious.
Oh yeah. I need to put
believe
children in this bag.
I believe that.
What do you believe, Andy?
I believe. I believe in a thing called love.
God damn it! I was gonna do that and then you did it.
See, I told you we share the same quantum brain system.
Get out of my head, Charles.
Get your mind out of my gutter.
My mind is the gutter.
Lol, Magnus.
We all float down here, Georgie.
Lol, Magnus. I've learned of the new language, Magnus. Are you Skibbity Riz?
Shut the fuck up.
I know why Magneto has a hell
I
of
will
one.
nail.
I will
nail
shit
you.
in your cereal.
I will
Everybody knows
mail you
Professor-
shit into cereal box.
Everybody that's like personally knows Professor X has some sort of anti-psychic helmet on.
Yeah, because he's doing that Skibby Riz shit to him.
He probably watches like really weird stuff on the internet and then like image flashes them on people randomly.
It's like, have you been to E-fucked? No.
Like that one bad, like that one really
Don't
bad
Google that.
scene from Fight Club that I can't mention, but you know what I'm talking about.
I don't actually, but I could guess.
Yeah. The chat will know.
Look, she
Well,
is
the
very
kids are,
sad.
like happy, like yay, get it right.
I could put one in the back and just like, yes.
No, he's one of the
good."
back who's like an emo rocker, and he's got his hands up, and he's got the devil horns up. He's like, rock on!
Oh,
Fuck yeah, we're gonna get hit by the satyr, man.
Just, yeah, it's the lead singer of The Cure in the back there, and he's just like,
What do you think the Krampus does when he comes up to like a kid that's got like a Chemical Romance shirt on?
Oh, that's when he pulls out the industrial strength chunkla.
oh, see, I thought he was gonna do what my friend did to my one friend who just used Axe body spray and just hose him down with a garden hose.
We all know
Which is a
why.
real thing that happened.
Oh, believe me, I've seen it myself. Like, some people need to be taught
What do you
what
what do
their
you
parents
think?
didn't teach them, which was take a fucking shower.
What do you think Krampus does to like Ralphie Wiggle?
I'm helping.
This is so fucking dumb. He's like, yes, I am glad to be here for this.
Or maybe instead of smiling, he's like going, oh,
Yeah, just put Albert Fish in here and he's just like,
Nice
good.
like his mouth is more like an O, like he's going, yeah.
Bully Snake says Magneto takes off helmet, is immediately rickrolled, puts helmet back on.
See, that's what would happen.
What
Just
if he's like, what if he tells a brother and says, you know, you don't understand how much of an asshole Xavier is. I have to sleep in this helmet. He waits for me to fall asleep to start messing with me.
he keeps sending me messages about my car's extended warranty. Oh, wait, hold on. This guy obviously needs, like, the Crow-style makeup here. One
I
second.
know about Two Girls in One Cup. I don't use the internet, but I know about it because
I
of
was
him.
there, Gandalf. I was there when they shat into that cup 10,000 years ago.
Oh, God. So anyways, on more wholesome notes,
Now, how are you spelling that?
shut the fuck up, Crispy.
What
I
if
don't
it-
say
what if
this
there's,
often,
like-
shut the fuck up.
What if there's like what if there's one like mutant that like he thinks he's obsessed with like I don't know VR girls, but it's only because
What the fuck?
Xavier keeps like popping images of like random VR girls in his mind, so he's like, oh, I must really
You know,
like
this does remind me, when I was in high school, I did come up with a superhero team, and one of them was a guy that could read minds, but only, like, the dirty thoughts people had.
in the what was it? The not it was the superhero RP I was trying to run with my friends. I had an encounter one where A guy can read your mind, but as only as long as like he had eye contact with your retinas.
Oh.
So if you wore like anything that like impede your vision, like if you wore sunglasses, it would really mess it up. But if he like could see it through a mirror or something, he could like read your mind. He can access any information in your mind as long as he's making eye contact. Like,
Oh man, Jim Jones would be safe. He had those fucking aviators on.
But he's not really like a bad guy. He's just in this world, like just a meteor came by and a bunch of random stuff happened and people started developing superpowers.
As one does.
Krampus would take one look at Ralph Wiggum and say, "No, Ralph's brain is too smooth to understand that's going on and why." Punishment would not work on him.
Honestly,
Ether
though.
would like it known that we have come up with a name for Andy, which is Andibity Rizvan.
Shut the fuck up.
Why does he have like the tears? Is he a what are they called?
He's in The Cure.
Oh, I was gonna say is he down to clown? What are they called?
Oh, the Insane Clown Posse?
Yeah, is he a clown?
Oh my god.
They're considered terrorists by some people.
Those people need to get a hobby.
I think when like you have a big enough following, certain groups are like, oh, these people are dangerous.
Jay Witt shared with me pictures from the Gathering of the Juggalos, and I will tell you what, if it's wrong to wear a Crown Royal bag as a banana hammock, I don't want to be right.
Did you know that the Insane Clown Posse face paint is like, it messes up facial recognition?
I love that.
Which
Is that why they think what they do about the Juggalos?
potentially, I don't know. I do think some of it has to do with like, someone gets in their head to do some mischief, and enough of it happens with a certain group of people that even if it's not the majority, there's enough of a minority that does it to cause concern.
Yeah, man, those Girl Scouts.
Shut up! You don't want us getting in trouble.
I want some tag-alongs. That's what I want.
I go clean for years at a time, and then my dealer shows back up, cuts to the Girl Scout, laughing at my pain.
The thing is, though, I'm probably right there with you. It was like, I love that. It's like when the first dispensary opened in Colorado, the Girl Scouts were like right there outside the door, and like they know their fucking brand.
Yeah.
And I'll be honestly, I'd just be there buying cookies, probably.
Did you see that video of that guy that like snatched the box of like there are these Girl Scout cookies? They're like outside of a Walmart or something. This guy like snatched their money box and ran off.
What happened to him? I'm guessing he didn't get very far.
I don't know. I don't remember like really walking too much. I just imagine that he's probably never heard from again.
Oh, he got the shit utterly beaten out of him by I think it was a mall security guy or something.
Good.
I'd like to imagine that he wakes up and there's just a bunch of little Girl Scouts like in the doorway to his room, and like the backlighting is just nothing but silhouetting them, and they're like, well, look what we got.
I guess I'm here for that one.
Oh, by the way, so Crispy, I had a horrible idea concerning your character for my game.
Oh?
So, the party has a lot of fighter types in it.
Yeah.
And your character is definitely built as a fighter type, but more of like the nimble swords or swashbuckler type, as opposed to Tank McTanker pants, other Tank McTanker pants, and the legally distinct, not technically a Jedi. And so it's like seeing this, all these buff dudes, and then they're a little, female captain, and all I could think of was, oh shit. We better never use a couch during the crew photo op.
Oh, fuck off! Now, if I'm honest, if I ever draw a crew picture, I want it to be that as the setting for it. Just so as like how many people are degenerates that are going to see this. I know where you've been. I've seen your crimes.
Your boos mean nothing to me. I know what makes you cheer.
I'm at least open in my depravity. Can you say the same? Oh, that's right. The kids are in a different color. I'm starting to get like confusing myself here, which is not really a new phenomenon for me, but you know.
And just a reminder, everyone, as Mr. Tex begins the Christmas dump for this year, that the Legion is raising money for St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital. Donate those shekels and coins and pounds and bits and every other form of currency known to man.
Yep.
Except for Goob. Goob's like a useless currency.
Fuck that cancer.
Fuck cancer. I will have a song showing on my stream here soon.
I will BRB.
To that effect. That one of our very own from the Ox read. Boy Six says nothing is more savage than selling Girl Scout cooking outside of Weight Watchers.
What was this one joke this guy said that he likes to hang outside of Alcoholics Anonymous and just start dropping the names of alcoholics? Royal Crown!
So mean! But seriously, though, all props to people who are genuinely trying to get better. It's hard. I've seen other people go through it, and all respect to people who realize they have a problem and want it to get better.
I have returned.
Hello, returned. I'm Stormsong.
I'm going to return you to the maternity ward.
Oh god, that's so mean!
I just shove you in like one of the fucking, you know, like how they have the stereotypical like line of babies. It's just like they're all looking at their kids, and then it's just like you, full-grown Stormsong, into like a baby outfit, just crammed into one of those with duct tape.
It reminds me of the movie Matilda. It's like, you can see this bill is expensive. We're not paying it. What are they gonna do? Repossess the baby?
Yeah. I forgot that was a line in that movie. You know, I think, given the amount of time that's left in stream, I think I know a good way to end this, which is what I was saying at the beginning. And to quote a movie whose musical numbers make me want to put nails into my ears, do you want to build a snowman?
Sorry, you just gave me those Vietnam-style flashbacks.
See, I'm glad it's not just me.
Ramshackle?
Because my sister would like to sing Let It Go to me to annoy me, and I'm like, I am not a violent person, but I want to punch you right now.
Yeah. Also, Ramshackle, good on you. Very good.
What did he do?
40 days sober.
Oh, very good, man. Very good. Congrats to you.
Yes. Oh, hey, Halion.
Oh, hello. I'm drawing a nice little snowman.
So, Halion, Crispy's going to be playing in my space opera game. I want you to send me ideas relating to various forms of...
Oh, God. This is what happened when I played with Whacker in that Star Wars game, and I got teabagged by a naked Trandoshan.
Oh, no. I just want ideas concerning the gross misapplication of, what do you call them, of force fields.
Oh, fucking Jesus Christ.
Although I actually came up with a thing for the force fields of myself. Oh yeah, no.
Is it Jello? Is it a Jello force field?
No, it's the one I described to you where it's like, because the force fields themselves are actually generating the field that causes the seizure of motion.
Yeah.
That the shield device itself might actually become unmoored in its positioning.
Yeah.
And so they need to constantly have systems that basically allow the shielding device, the shield generator, to be knocked back and then pushed back into position, or else the hitting of the force field would actually break the shield generator.
Oh my god, it's like pinball.
And so even though it would be impractical to have, scenes where they're trying to roll cannons back into place, you do have that aesthetic of, the force field takes a hit, the shield generator actually gets pushed back and then pistoned back forward. And I was like, I'm super proud of that. That's cool.
Sounds pretty fun.
I like anything that makes a setting feel heavy.
I like the face I'm putting on the snowman.
Helion says, passing through the shield, one is overcome with the scent of Axe body spray.
Taking me back to middle school. Fucking gym locker room. You go in there and it's just like a hot box of Axe.
Be me. Be the one boy in class who's allergic to chemical smells. Be in 6th grade when the girls all start discovering what perfume is.
Oh, that must have been... Oh, so it's like that SpongeBob episode where they have to run through the perfume department.
Yes, that was my life for 6th and 7th grade.
Oh, that sounds fun. Hold on. We gotta give our snowman here a randy old carrot now.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh shit. I guess you could use a scarf too. There's details I want to add to this that I'm not sure would be appropriate for Twitch.
I mean, the face itself, man.
What do you mean?
Nothing.
I think he's commenting on how it looks like an orgasm face.
Definitely does not a face that somebody sent me to put on a Furby.
Concern.
Oh, I've showed that picture before. Hold on.
Double concern.
Do you want to snow a blow, man?
Yeah, here we go. Regret.
Oh yeah, that one.
Yeah. I think the name's appropriate. Oh, there's that again.
Wait, where was what again?
That.
Oh, yeah. Oh no. Oh no. Andy, it's been done. Behold your
What?
name in Discord.
Oh no.
And
What's his name?
Andibity Rizvan.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I have been rizzed. Now all the ladies will look.
He is risen, straight bussin'.
He has risen. Actually, that reminds me of Storm.
Oh, God. I just had the worst idea for a Passion of the Christ remake.
Well, actually, here, listen to this. So I want you to imagine it's.
Did you just call Alien Hellier?
Will you, for the love of Christ, stop interrupting? I swear.
I know where your brain's at. Continue.
So imagine it's the scene where Palpatine and Anakin are watching the opera, but instead of Palpatine, it's like Pope Francis, and he's like, "There once was a man. He went around and helped the sick and the elderly. They hated him, and so they killed him. But 3 days later, he rose to immortality. You know, Anakin is like, "What do I learn such power?" And Francis turned to Anakin and says, "Not from a Jedi."
No, Francis turns to him, not from a Protestant.
Yeah, there we go. Is this the king like the Star Wars version of Henry VIII? Is that what we're doing? Like Obi-Wan is Henry VIII.
I loved you.
And then instead of Anakin, it's like one of his 8 wives, just like limbs cut off, sliding into burning lava. Like, I hate you.
My God.
Oh wait, no, they got guillotined.
Not guillotined. They were beheaded with axe and block.
Oh, that's even more metal.
And it was only 2 of them. The others were divorced rather successfully.
You think after so many wives, you know, people be like, "I don't want to marry you."
I think that kind of was the sentiment, but I'm not a
Of
historian.
course, then it might have been a point. It's like you don't have a choice.
Well, yeah. There are times where I'm like, man, we should go back to arranged marriages. And then other times where I'm like, and then there were those fuckers.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know about that.
So, I know this is weird, but this kind of, you know, my mind makes connections. So, this goes to
Wouldn't know anything about that.
the weird like stories and crypto stuff and all that. I can't remember it, but Crispy, did you hear the story about like the well-to-do family that basically had like the secret like possible mutant child that was locked up in the basement?
I've heard that urban legend before.
Like, and like people say, "Oh, I saw him through a window." It was,
Yeah.
but there.
I think I was that
no
boy's
basement.
child.
There's a weird window in the castle that's like underneath the main floor, but they could never find the door to the basement or the underground.
That's where Henry VIII went to go eat his chicken wings and stare at the peasants vigorously masturbating.
What?
Henry VIII I am, Henry VIII I am,
That's where that song comes from, Storm.
Yep.
Trust me, I've read a history book.
Yeah, Blackfired Gaming reminds me of the old adage for English history majors, which is divorce beheaded died, divorce beheaded survived.
Oh, I love that game.
Yeah.
Would have made what is it, the Bachelor game or whatever the fuck it was used to be the old show.
I mean, The Bachelor and The Bachelorette.
Or no, it was like an even older show. It was like a blind date show. I forget the name of it. It was like from the 70s.
So
I cannot
Storm,
remember the... What?
I was gonna say, so Storm, does your game, does it use hexes or square grid?
I typically use hexes personally.
It uses
To be
fractals.
honest, because we had the what was it, Heroscape. My friend just had a whole bunch of Heroscape shit.
Mm-hmm.
We use that stuff as terrain, and to be honest, hexes in D&D, they works pretty good.
And I'm prone to using hexes because I do tend to take account in my combat system for facing.
Yes, Samurai Heroscape does have some really badass terrain, and it works with BattleTech.
Yes. Hey, Leon says, "You can behead your ex?"
Oh, don't give him ideas.
So onto Derberger.
I don't know about your ex, because there's other steps involved with that, like namely a stake through the heart, you know, burning at a crossroads, that sort of thing.
Well, that's fair. To
So
clarify, sorry, quick, Andy, 1 second. To clarify, Derberger, you walked in on a discussion of Henry VIII. We are not actually talking about killing Halion's ex.
No.
No.
That's between him and the Jinn.
I heard tell that in medieval times, if a husband and wife had a disagreement and the wife challenged the husband to a duel, the husband had to stand in a ditch with one arm tied behind his hand.
I've heard that one.
There was a specific country where that was true. It wasn't broadly true across all of the medieval.
Ah, yes, Canada.
Speaking of which, I love Kingdom Come Deliverance. I didn't know that most of the like medieval shenanigans that we think of was actually in like what, Prague, or what country Prague was in.
Bohemia, which nowadays is Czech and Slovakia.
Ah, I was not aware of that either.
Yep. And that said, yeah, it's a lot of also what we understand about medieval this and that is what's the word I'm looking for?
Romanticized?
Grossly exaggerated by the Victorian era and
No,
the Renaissance.
That doesn't seem possible.
Yeah. And the Renaissance prior to that. So like an important thing to remember about the Renaissance. Do you know who named it the Renaissance?
A guy named Ren.
Ren and Stimpy.
The people who were in the Renaissance.
So you're saying that they had a gross misunderstanding of history and romanticized it. That doesn't seem possible.
No, it's worse than that. They wanted to up-jump their own achievements and refer to the previous generations as the Dark Ages.
Huh.
Even though those previous generations were where the universities were founded, were where a lot of the roads were built that were necessary for the Renaissance.
Almost reminds me of... Never mind, I'm not going to say it.
Yeah, so the song Shory Lord is... You can tell a lot about a group of people in history when you realize they called themselves, you know, the super awesome good guy group. And
yeah, it's like that Norman Donald bit.
Yep. Which one specifically?
The one where it's like, oh man, if you look through a history book, it's like all these good guys and they always win.
Yeah. Yep, welcome to history.
Yep.
Hey, Cookie Mama.
That does remind me of the one book series, which I would love to get the entire set of, now that I'm an adult and have money and the means to. That I used to read in school called Horrible Histories.
Yep.
I'm not sure if anyone here is familiar with that series, but
oh, I remember.
That was a real fun one.
I have an idea for a future stream, maybe.
Yeah?
We need to, like, for a future art stream, we just look through, like, those kind of bad but funny medieval arts.
Oh, I would love that.
One where it's like a guy's got a sword through his head and he looks like he's going like, well, I guess I'm dead.
Well, the good news is I have an entire Pinterest board of those for when we want to do that.
Oh shit, that'd be awesome.
I'll do that as an episode. I love that shit.
So a lot of that... Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, a lot of that kind of artwork came out of wanting to portray the person about whom the artwork was commissioned in the best possible light. So I think in that case that was supposed to be a saint. And so saying, like, he was at peace with being killed.
It's just like, lol, whatever.
Yeah,
Hashtag
basically.
YOLO.
I would say it would be hashtag Yolfi, which is to say you only live for eternity, but, you know, they were Catholic.
Witness me.
Bringing me to something that my rabbi said once, which is, I'm sorry, Storm Song, but anything that starts with the phrase witness me is probably not church-appropriate behavior.
You can't, like, spray paint your yarmulke chrome and... Oh, look at our snowman.
UNC Samurai does bring up the interesting point of the only thing dark about the Dark Ages was the lack of surviving historical sources.
That is, yeah.
Now, the other thing about the early medieval ages, what I will abstain from calling the Dark Ages, because again, that was a term used by Renaissance-era artists trying to make their stuff look better. The big thing with another cause for calling it the Dark Ages was there was a miniature ice age at that time. So where the climate shifted generally cooler, so it did, on some level, slow down communication, cut off countries from each other, things like that.
I see.
But broadly speaking, war only got more violent as time went on, and a lot of the things we think of as medieval torture devices were either invented during the Enlightenment or were completely fabricated again by the Victorians.
Oh, isn't
I'm
that ironic?
enlightened on how to cause you more pain and suffering.
I am enlightened on how to call you a cock.
Oh, I think my art teacher, at the time, I can tell you a lot about her, but my art history teacher.
Ah.
She kind of made it out where like the Dark Ages, like that's, one of the things about it was like a bunch of the best artists died, and that's why we had,
No, I don't think that's true. I think
that
part of
or
it was...
or the
Well, a lot of that stuff, when it comes to that art, wasn't even necessarily that. It was, there was very much in the church the idea of not portraying, like the idea of iconoclasm and everything. I think that probably played a very large contributor to it. And also, you had people trying to draw shit that they'd never seen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't
We
know
live
what
in
the deal is with the rabbit snails.
So the rabbit snails are because, okay, look at Crispy here, right? Think about this for a moment, Andy. Look at Crispy, right? Look at his art. Imagine Crispy's only viable way of being an artist in that time period was to work for the church and to illuminate manuscripts and make them look fancy and nice.
Brother Crispy, you have drawn a phallus in this illuminated manuscript.
So now think about modern animators and all the things they hide in shit.
Yeah.
And you now have your answer what the fuck the snails with the rabbit heads were about.
Oh, I would absolutely hide curse shit in medieval art if I was doing it.
So did the monks.
Gotta have fun.
I mean, there's those like pictures of like the people with the butt trumpets.
That's Monty Python.
Nope, that was based on an actual picture that Monty Python found. From
That makes
museum.
my... I love that. I love that a lot.
God bless museum pieces.
Absolutely.
Remember, this is a time period that gave us the phrase "Licht mein Ars," although that was Renaissance, but
That was the Iron Hand guy.
yeah, Gotts von Berlichingen of the Iron.
What a cool guy.
Berlichingen, sorry. Off whom the character of Guts from Berserk is very loosely based.
Oh, I see. That makes sense. Well, I think it's getting close to the end of stream here. As much as I would like to keep drawing more fun holiday things, we'll save that more for next week. Because next week is the week before Christmas, if I'm not mistaken. It is.
Yep.
So that'll be fun.
Yep. Well, you all
We got some good stuff in today.
Yeah, you all be good to each other.
Be
safe.
good.
Have a
Thank you for joining us for stream today. We hope you all have a Merry Crombo. If we don't see you next week.
And always remember, the best bacon is Sir Francis Bacon.
Yes.